All right, we're here, fifth stop of the ABT South, the champions, and the blue trophy is the best part of this whole thing. Y'all went and put the checks up, you put the big checks up, but we got to hold on to that blue trophy because that's something that's a prized possession.
That's right. You'll never go away.
No, and that one, I mean, that's going to have dust on it. You're going to throw away all your old baseball trophies and all your old football trophies, but that one will never get thrown away no matter what. Yeah, all the Pee Wee football trophies will get thrown away one day.
Like deer heads.
Yeah, exactly.
I look at them all the time.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, we talked earlier, y'all on stage, you talked about you had 11 pounds early in the morning and then there was a turn of the day. Talk about how you got to 11 pounds and then y'all got excited. Just talk about that just a little bit.
Okay, well, we started in a creek. We got some punching bites in practice. We frogged it early and that went okay. I think we
caught
had
a 5-pounder. And
we had
the first creek we started in, we missed one or two and I broke one off in the reel. It was a good fish. We missed 2, 3 and then for some reason, and then finally one gets it. Chokes it down and I hooked it, and as soon as I hooked it, I thought the reel come apart. I just heard this and like everything come loose, and I'm like, I don't know what happened, and I looked and my line was broke off in my reel and the rest of my line went on the water. Went and grabbed the line, of course nothing on there.
Yeah.
And then
so y'all actually started out with a bad morning.
Yeah, a little bit. And I'm like, what the heck happened with this?
Yeah, I think 2 missed, just come up in open water, not even on the grass.
He missed a good one, like a 2+ something, and which at the time was like good limit.
We were gonna be happy with that.
And
then we caught the 5, and from there the sun was coming up pretty high. We decided we were gonna go punch.
Yeah, right after we caught the 5-pounder.
And everywhere we, shook fish off yesterday, we had nothing. We punched for probably an hour in that creek, and then we swapped creeks, just went right across the river, and pulled up on a spot and caught a 3-pounder
like first 5 flips, you caught that 3-pounder.
Yeah, caught a 3-pounder pretty quick, and then a 620, and then a few minutes. I mean, this all happened in probably 20 minutes, and then a 670.
So just like a 50-yard stretch.
It wasn't even 50 yards.
Yeah, the whole stretch probably 50 yards. I would say the 2 big ones were probably 40 yards.
I think one of the keys was how far back in I was taking that 2 and just chunking it up as high as I could.
Yeah.
We punched in Florida.
Throwing a 2-ounce, like just zipping it up in the air, like 20, 30 feet up. And sending the line with it so it'll have slack and just shooting down.
We punched in Florida and I've never had to throw it that high. We didn't have a 2 1/4 or anything like that. So
you'd hit it like 4 or 5 times sometimes. It wouldn't even go in. You'd have to reel it back up.
So y'all are also, by the way, fishing for fish that not a lot of people fished for.
I guess
not a lot of people are doing that.
I mean, it's like, as you're doing it, you're like, this will never work. And then it does until it works.
And then even crazy until it happens.
You see it happen, and then 10 minutes later you're doing it and you're like, we'll never catch another fish like this. And then 10 minutes later, he leans on another one, and you could hear it flopping around in the grass. Jeez. So we run up in the grass, and like we got over top of it, and I looked down, and I seen his weight, I seen his bait, the hook, and no fish. Looked like it was stuck in a hossie. And I'm like, oh gosh, he must have come off when he was flopping around up here. Must have been on top. We must have heard him flopping around. He wasn't on there. And so I reached down, and you never know whether it's a gator, mudfish, whatever. And I was like kind of hesitant to reach my hands down in there, but I like poked around with my finger one time down into the grass, and I kind of hit something by the hook. It felt like a gill plate. And I'm like, I think that's the fish. And then I reached my hand. Now I'm thinking, why would I do that? Because it might have been a mudfish. But I reached my hand down there and felt around, and I felt like a fish's mouth, and I had grabbed a hold of something and started peeling grass back and pulled up, and it's just a monstrosity of a fish. I just bear hugged it and rolled in the boat with it.
Yeah, it was a 670. It just kept coming. I was like, we had 16
You're thinking
pounds.
Maybe it's a 3-pounder, and you pull it out.
We had 16 pounds at that point. And when that one came, we got wild in that boat, man. He took
like 30 minutes.
I was shaking so bad. I was trying to retie my 80-pound braid, and I was just sitting there
You're like, what's happening?
Right, my hand. It wasn't supposed to happen.
We have 11 pounds. 20, 30 minutes later, you look down, we got 21, 22. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? It's just unbelievable.
That's incredible. So that's one of my favorite fishing stories, just because, like you said, you're doing something that's abnormal, flipping that high in the air, and then, like you said, until you catch one, you're like, we're wasting time. Let's go do something different. But let's talk about specifically about the bait. So you got a lot of people coming to Eufaula. It's the big bass capital of the world, and they want to catch fish. They want to do what y'all just did, almost 24 pounds. Talk about the bait. So you got a 2-ounce weight. Like you said, it's on an 80-pound braid.
Yeah.
Really heavy rod, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. 8-foot rod.
8-foot rod, 80-pound braid, a 2-ounce weight. You got a bobber stop on top of that to keep the
2 of them.
2 bobber stops because it's heavy. Talk about the hook and the bait.
It's the owner jungle flipping hook. They're hard to find now, but they're extremely good hooks. And the bait was the BFE, and the only color, in my opinion, that you ever need to mess with, the hematoma. It's like
switching up don't really seem to change.
We came in
Yeah.
second at the Alabama River.
Same bait.
And the same exact bait, but I was flipping the tilapia for a little while and I wasn't getting bites, and he caught 2 good ones. I put that, I mean, he was holding it still. I was thinking why he was getting bites and I wasn't. But I changed colors and I caught like a 1 push and
3
pull,
pounder, 4 pounder,
3 pounder.
something like that, yeah.
So that color under that dark mat, I guess, does
Well,
really
it's
good.
basically dark in there. I mean, there's no light in
Yeah.
there hardly, so
Right.
I'm guessing the same as
Yeah.
you wouldn't night fish with
Yeah.
a green pumpkin probably.
That's right. Well, I mean, awesome. It sounds like that whole setup, the bait. I know specifically the BFE. They've got those at
yeah.
Academy.
There was
like a
one
good
other
pumpkin
thing
bait.
we were doing, and I really don't know if this helped, but we had some bait pop, and it's kind of got a garlic smell to it,
Yeah.
and I was squirting that stuff all over there, and every time, I mean, the 2
It's got a little
6
sparkles in
pounders,
it,
Yeah.
so maybe that helps. I don't
the
know.
2 6-pounders, I had just put it on there.
Interesting.
Yeah, who knows?
So a little scent, a little bait.
Who
So
knows?
good baits, a
Yeah.
little scent. Big Bite Baits is from Eufaula, which is really cool. They
Yeah.
might have
Right.
designed the bait for flipping this kind of grass. But if you're watching back at home, anybody who comes to Lake Eufaula, you just heard it broken down by the guys who just won over $15,000, 24 pounds of 5 fish, which is a
Probably don't try it. It'll never happen again like that.
yeah. But
Yeah.
if you come here, I would suggest you try it.
Yeah, try
Go
it,
by
but-
Academy. The BFE is a little plastic, a crawl type bait. And guys, appreciate it. This is the
Yep.
Academy Sports Winners Tacklebox, and with the 2 champions. Congratulations,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.